To disassemble your TAR-12, you're going to need 4 tools: a Phillips head screwdriver, a 6mm hex bit, a 10-inch or longer extension, and a ratchet. First, ensure that the firearm is clear. Remove your handguard nut by rotating counterclockwise. Now, the question that we get asked the most is, how do you install the charging handle? To install the charging handle, pull back on the bolt carrier. This will align the charging handle channel. Place the charging handle in with the nub facing upwards. As you can see, when you pull back on the bolt carrier, it aligns the charging handle channel. Now remove your gas system nut by rotating counterclockwise. Now for the next step, we do recommend leaving the charging handle in the firearm. We recommend locking your bolt back as it allows for the barrel to be easily removed. You'll want to turn your feed ramp down. Now you can partially remove your barrel, but as you can see, it gets caught on the bolt carrier. Now slowly release your bolt carrier to give it the space to allow the barrel to be removed. And this is your piston. Now you'll want to remove your charging handle, but maintain firm contact on the bolt carrier as it is under spring tension. Pull your bolt carrier assembly out along with your bolt. Be sure to hold on to your bolt, as if you tilt the carrier, the bolt can fall off of the carrier. And here's your bolt. Here's your recoil spring. This is your recoil spring pusher. And this is your bolt carrier. Now to remove your butt pad, you'll need a Phillips head screwdriver. This is where you'll need your 6mm hex bit, your extension, and your ratchet. You're going to want to turn the receiver mounting bolt counterclockwise. This is your receiver mounting bolt and mounting washer. Once you've unscrewed those, you should be able to separate your upper from your lower. This is your receiver mounting washer, receiver mounting screw, and lock washer. This is the lower. The trigger is very similar to an AR's, however, it is not interchangeable with AR triggers. This is your bolt catch assembly. It just pulls right out. And this is the feed ramp that you actuate whenever you remove the barrel from the firearm. We don't recommend further disassembly beyond this point. When you're finished, your workbench should look something like this. Now for reassembly, you're going to want to first install your bolt catch assembly if you did remove it. It just pops right in. Now place your upper onto your lower. Now take your lock washer, your receiver mounting washer, and your receiver mounting bolt. Place the lock washer onto the receiver mounting bolt, and then the receiver mounting washer. You're going to want to take your 6mm hex bit and your extension with your ratchet. Ensure that the receiver mounting washer is in the orientation shown with the nub on the bottom. Now rotate clockwise until tight. Now you want to place your butt pad onto the back of the stock. Take your screw and your Phillips head screwdriver and rotate clockwise until tight. Now ensure that your feed ramp is in the down position. Place your recoil spring pusher onto your bolt carrier as shown. Place your recoil spring onto the recoil spring guide, and then your bolt carrier assembly onto the recoil spring guide. Now place your bolt onto the bolt carrier. If your bolt is difficult to install or catching on something, it's most likely the locking block on top of the bolt. To disengage the locking block, just push the bolt forward independently of the carrier. Now we recommend installing the charging handle right now, as your carrier is already in the rearward position. This will capture your progress. Now take your barrel and your piston and place your piston into your piston cup. Now place your barrel onto the recoil spring guide, and you'll only be able to insert it partially as the locking block will interfere. What you'll need to do is pull the barrel forward just slightly, pull back on the charging handle, and push the bolt forward. Now your locking block should be disengaged. Take your gas system nut and rotate clockwise with the detent divots facing towards the rear of the weapon. Take your handguard, place it onto your barrel and your recoil spring guide. And ensure that the Picatinny rail sections on the top connect. Now just put on your handguard nut and rotate clockwise. Now your TAR-12 disassembly and reassembly is complete.